Welcome back to Movies Explained. Today's film is an action thriller from 2024 titled Elevation. The film opens with news channels covering the news of mysterious sinkholes appearing in every country and weird creatures, which they name Reapers, erupting out of those sinkholes to wreak havoc. Scenes then cut to 3 years later in Colorado, where a young child named Hunter is seen exploring the grounds below 8,000 feet, searching for something sentimental. He is noticed and chased by a Reaper, which we only see a flash of. Hunter almost gets caught by that Reaper, but he runs to save himself by making it past the white line, which marks the 8,000 feet boundary. In the next scene, we are shown a pocketed community called the Lost Gulch Refuge, consisting of 193 people and 8,460 feet above the ground. Hunter returns to his home in the same refuge, where his concerned father, Will, sits him down to talk about what he's done. He reminds him of his lung disease, which is more fatal than the Reapers down there. Since Hunter requires synthetic oxygen, Will advises him not to go far from home for longer periods. But Hunter defends himself, saying he was searching for life. Will then joins his dead wife's friend, Katie, to chop up and collect wood for the community, where he discusses Hunter's urges to go below the line in hopes of finding his mother.
He went across the line to get a better view of the Red Rock settlement.
Katie brings to his attention that Hunter is not only lonely and the only kid in the refuge, but also limited to a house, which makes him go beyond that. But Will speaks they should be grateful for surviving the human wipeout, even after 3 years, and have the privilege of shelter. Somewhere else in the same refuge, we see another woman named Nina, who's testing on a stolen Reaper's shell by shooting at it and finding out the bullet doesn't penetrate it or even graze it in the slightest. The following night, Will shaves his beard and goes to bed. Suddenly, he hears Hunter out of breath, so he runs to his room and changes his oxygen filter, after which he hugs him until he sleeps. Afterwards, he looks at an area named Boulder on the map. The next day, Will teaches Hunter the important perks about farming and fishing. He then goes alone to a grocery store, where he trades his farmed potatoes for a box of mac and cheese to celebrate Hunter's birthday. Hunter becomes excited when Will cooks him the mac and cheese. However, Hunter becomes visibly sad when Will reveals he's going to leave for Boulder to find more oxygen filters for Hunter, who's already dealing with the traumas of losing his mother to the Reapers. That evening, Will and Katie sit on Will's front porch to catch up and get amused to see Nina relentlessly shooting and testing the shell. This night, Hunter has trouble breathing once again, so Will gives him a sedative shot to ease his pain since he's out of synthetic oxygen. He directly pays Nina a visit and shares his idea about going to Boulder to a hospital for his son, but Nina is in constant despair, who doesn't want to help him. Believing that retaliating against the Reapers is impossible and they would get killed too, since her testing has proven gunshots don't hurt them. She's also sure there's not a single way that connects the 8,000 foot high ground with Boulder, since it is 2,000 feet below the elevation point and requires a 2-day journey. Will persuades her by reminding her that she's the only survivor who's not only faced the Reapers, but gotten to research and test on them for years. He now talks about a way he knows through the woods, and also brings to her attention Nina's old lab, where she researched together with Will's wife, despite Nina believing Will's path is infested with landmines. At the end of their session, Nina is seen testing on a tracking device and getting haunted by the traumatizing past. Will returns home and appoints a fellow woman to look after Hunter while he's gone. The next day, as Will is testing weapons to take to Boulder, Katie joins him against his will and volunteers to journey with him, believing they might face the Reapers sooner or later. Hence, they must work along to find a way out of this situation. When Katie convinces Will and walks out of there, she finds Nina sitting by the barn, talking about how the weapons are not going to work on the Reapers, and hinting that she's going with them too.
We're gonna die out there. But you first.
Meanwhile, Will pays Hunter a quick visit and promises he will return. Now, the trio sets on a dangerous pathway where Nina brings to their attention the tracker, which tracks the Reaper's unnaturally high magnetic fields charged around them.
Did you find a way to track them?
Bioelectromagnetism. They generate their own magnetic field stronger than ours, stronger than any animal on Earth.
On their way, they stop at an abandoned area to test their weapons. But Nina and Katie get into a catfight since they have bad blood between them, which started after Will's wife's tragic death.
If she wants to stay, just let her. Just let her. We don't need her anyway.
Actually, you do. Like you, I'm not dead weight.
Fuck you, Nina.
When they finally make it past the white line, they see a herd of horses and realize the Reapers don't hunt animals. Subsequently, they reach the ski area, which is a few hundred feet below the elevation point. There, Nina senses a Reaper approaching towards them using her tracker and even spots the Reaper's glowing skin. Katie, with experience, holds the Reaper by shooting at it constantly and covers Will and Nina to run to the chairlifts. Will turns on the power and gets going with Nina on a chairlift to get to another elevated mountaintop. Katie also makes it to the chairlift pole, from where she jumps on Will's chairlift but falls off. Luckily, Will saves her and successfully makes it to the elevated top with the girls just before getting caught by the Reaper. In the evening, they take shelter in a resort, where Nina shares that from what she's observed, the Reapers aren't hunting humans for food, which is why she's curious to why the Reapers have wiped out 98% of the population, and what is their energy source, if not humans.
Wipe out 95% of the world's population in a month? They didn't stop to eat or sleep. They just didn't stop.
That night, Will has a flashback of his last conversation with his wife, Tara, who goes against Will's wish to join Nina's lab to save the world, but ends up getting killed there. As the sun rises, the trio heads to the Calway mine that's above 8,000 feet. There, Will tells them they're on level 9 and need to get to level 8, which is still 8,000 feet, from where Boulder is only 12 miles away. Nina finds it fishy and questions Will's calculations, only to find out Will is lying because the tunnels are below the elevation point and also prevents the tracker from working, due to which they'll never know if a Reaper is approaching them. Nina gets pissed and lashes out at Will because the Reapers are the creatures of the underground and pose a great threat to them. But he appeals to go along since it's only 231 yards away. Out of options, they move forward, but find the tunnel sealed shut. They end up taking the 7th level, which is 1,000 yards, or 3,000 feet, below the elevation point. When they climb down from there, they begin hearing the Reapers. As the Reapers chase them, they hide in a small cave within the tunnel, where they turn off their headlights and stop breathing. A Reaper uses its tail sensors to sense their presence, but Nina finds a small way out of there, so she uses a flare to distract the Reaper and run out from there. But sadly, a Reaper is already outside waiting for them. It kills Katie, and drags her away with it, proving they're smarter than humans and that they herded the trio in the cave purposefully. Despite being horrified, Will and Nina run out of there to save themselves. Nina finally admits she's stubborn.
I'm stubborn.
And cries her heart out. The two find an abandoned house where Nina finds a baby goat. She hugs it while crying. They find some canned mac and cheese, so they warm it up and eat it, during which Will shares he feels guilty for bringing them through the tunnels rather than scaling through the mountaintops. But Nina tells him to turn his guilt into anger and use it against the Reapers. But Will claims he's too numb to be doing this. Nina still thinks he hates her for Tara's death, but Will doesn't agree with her. To change the subject, he asks Nina about what's in her lab that she's after. She reveals that there's a deadly version of a chemical named periclase, in which she will dip the bullets in order to penetrate the Reaper's hard shell. She believes that the Reapers somehow electrically charge themselves. According to her research, the periclase-dipped bullets will create a 1,000-volt reaction, which will eventually kill the Reapers of uncontrollable internal combustion. Will finds her research useless and goes to the hospital the next day, using the abandoned car found outside the house.
Jesus.
5th floor.
He luckily finds the oxygen filters on the 5th floor and begins collecting them, but a Reaper opens a fatal attack on him. After the chase, Will shoots and explodes some oxygen cylinders to hold off the Reaper because they breathe carbon dioxide, contrary to humans. This allows them to run away from there, after which they make a stop at Nina's lab. She begins dipping the bullets in the chemical, during which Will sees a photo frame of her family, seeing which she breaks into tears and tells him she was working with her team on a chemical named cobalt to increase the electron flow in batteries by 3 times. But the Reapers erupted from the ground and killed everyone, including her family. Will doesn't take any offense and consoles her, after which Nina tests the bullets on the stolen shell. The shell remains untouchable, which kills their hope at survival. Nina forces Will to return to their refuge without her, so she can stay back and keep on experimenting to find a way to kill the Reapers. Despite not wanting to, Will drives away, but his tire flattens and causes the truck to crash. Meanwhile, Nina figures she will dip her bullets in cobalt to see if that penetrates their magnetic field. Unfortunately, a Reaper spawns before she gets to test her theory, so she takes the shot on pure luck. Luckily, the bullet penetrates the Reaper's shell and causes it to explode. Outside, Will is targeted by multiple Reapers, so he runs to get to an elevated point. Since the Reapers are fast, he decides to shoot them, but it doesn't work out. At last, he surrenders to get killed, but miraculously, a bullet strikes a Reaper that's closer to him, causing the Reaper to explode. That's when he sees Nina with the gun and realizes she's found a way to kill them. Now, Nina targets all the Reapers and kills them one by one, allowing her and Will to comprehend that the Reapers weren't creatures, but electronic machines purposefully sent to kill humans. Now they return to the refuge, where Will unites with his son, while Nina works with others to mass-produce the chemical. The film ends as we see Will and his friends heading below the elevation point to take revenge and wipe out the Reapers. I'm sure you liked the story recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps like that.